All right. God bless you so much for joining us this afternoon on the beautiful Saturday. This is Lady Candy Menu. And this is the Unleashing the Real Woman in Me, Unleashing the Real Woman in Me. As I say always, this program is meant to empower us, empower women all over the world, and also to bring women out of their comfort zone into a place that God has prepared us to be. So today I have a special guest. I have two special guests that'll be joining me very soon. So stay tuned, and I want you to please go ahead and share. Invite your friends to share. Copy the link and share on your WhatsApp. You can also copy the link and share on your timeline. So I want us to take a few minutes of our time and go ahead and share right now. Go ahead and All right, all right. So God bless you so much and welcome back. This is the Unleashing the Real Woman Inside of Me. So please go ahead and share right now. Click your share button and share. You can also invite your friends to join us. You can copy the link and share on your WhatsApp. You can also copy the link and share on your timeline. So please go ahead and share right now. We're going to be starting in 30 seconds. We want to use just the 30 seconds to go ahead and text our friends and invite them to join us. So please go ahead and share in 30 seconds. We're going to be right back. All right, our wonderful viewers, God bless you so much for joining us once again. As I said, this is the Unleashing the Real Woman in Me. This program is meant to empower women all over the world, to bring women out of their comfort zone, and also to encourage women. Today, we're going to continue with the dangers of spousal equality rights. Spousal equality rights. We're going to be continuing with the part two. Last week we started part one, and then we had a special guest in our midst, Reverend Mousy. Today we are privileged to have him in our midst, who also going to be sharing with us further some of the things that he discussed with us last week. And also I have a Reverend Mrs. in our midst who's going to be joining us very soon. So without much ado, I'm going to let Pastor Wisdom join us right now. All right. So we have Reverend Wisdom in our midst right now. God bless you so much for joining us, Reverend Wisdom. It is a privilege and honor to have you once again this wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much. We want to give you the chance to also introduce yourself again, and then we take it from there. Welcome to the Unleashing the Real Woman in Me. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, LP, Kandi Menu, and greetings to Bishop Benjamin Menu. We so love him and we thank him for all the messages he has been sending and encouraging us. And our love to the family. And also greetings to the viewers who have connected with us. It's an honor, it's a privilege once again to come on your way to be a blessing unto you. We don't take this time for granted, but we trust the Lord that God's grace will be sufficient for us tonight to go deeper last week. The Lord bless you once again for having me here.
All right. God bless all of you so much. So last week we started talking about the dangers of spousal equality rights, the dangers of spousal equality rights. And we touched base on certain things that were so very important. You are here at the right time, at the right place. I'm telling you, this is the most powerful thing that is going on right now on social media. Because why? It is meant to empower everybody, whether you are married or whether you are single, because the greatest thing that can ever happen to any relationship is when you have adequate information. You have adequate information, not just adequate information. You have good information. You have information to prepare you into marriage. Most of the times, people just enter into marriage. They just enter. Oh, I found somebody that I love. The person is so sweet. I'm nice. He's nice. He likes me. I like him. I mean, he likes me. I like her and all that. And then all of a sudden they get married. They don't take their time to investigate. They don't take their time to, take so many things into consideration. So last week we spoke about the foundation. We talk about how important a foundation is in marriage, because the reason why we have the tassel in spousal equality rights is because of the foundation. I was raised differently. My husband was raised differently. What I know is different from what my husband knows, and what my husband knows is different from what I know. So we all coming from different backgrounds, being raised differently. And also the fact that we traditional foundation, where we were raised in the traditional way. And then we spoke about our traditions. We spoke about disagreements. We also spoke about being ready and refined. You got to be ready. You don't just get up and enter into marriage like that. You got to be ready. You have to be ready mentally. You have to be ready emotionally, spiritually. You got to be ready. So you don't just get up and enter into marriage. All these things come into consideration before you enter into marriage. When we don't take notice of all these things, that is where, when we enter into the marriage and then we begin to experience equality rights. It is my right to do this. No, it's not your right. It is my right to do this. Yes, it's my right. When we don't have all this foundation in place, that is when we begin to experience confrontations. And then we also spoke about the spouse at fault drives not even know, So most of the times when the spouse is at fault, they don't even know they're at fault. Why? Because that is how they were raised. And they think that this is how I want to do my thing. This is how I did my thing. And especially when a lady have been single for a long time, when you have been single for a long time, you are used to doing things on your own. And now you have to allow somebody into your space. And when somebody comes into your space, you feel that they are trying to take over. You feel that they are trying to take charge. And you feel that I'm supposed to be in control of these things. What? But meanwhile, it's supposed to be your spouse. And also last week, we ironed on certain things about the fact that we should be able to define the role in the marriage. We have to define the role. When it comes to children, let me just allow my husband to do. When it comes to the kitchen, let my wife be in charge. So when we are able to define our roles, there is nothing like equality right. It is my right to discipline the children. This one say it is my right. Both of you have the right to discipline your children, but there is always one person who does a good job than the other person. And when you come to identify that your spouse is good at something, you just have to allow them, to take over. So, Reverend Mousy, we've touched base on so many things. Is there anything that you want to lay emphasis on before we move on?
I think some of the things we raise, uh, it's important that we uh, digest them a little bit in order to help others to get more knowledge on such subjects. I said something here when you started that it's very important to have information to prepare you when you are taking your step into marriage. And that is very important and very scripture. When you come to Genesis 24, Isaac was groomed by the father, and he prepared his mind. He prepared him not only spiritually, mentally, socially, spiritually, and then he really go into marriage. And that is so important when it comes to talking about which we trust that one is able to have time, because marriage is not something you rush into it. It is something that you take time to able to prepare yourself into it. That is why there is so much need for you to have counsel before you enter into such an environment. So some of these topics are very interesting, and they are also enlightening or eye-opening to even those who are married and never got opportunity to go into a proper counseling, or to be able to have enough time to ask questions or go into some of the things that we mentioned last week. So it could have been good if you could, at the things you mentioned, we could have just looked a little bit at the foundation side, which is very
Yeah.
important that you did mention. And that is one thing that I would love to just speak a little bit about it, because last week I said the right of the couple, or the couples, determine the kind of foundation the marriage was founded upon, and which is so important for everybody to know that we can call my marriage a Christian marriage, but we must wait until we make an investigation to find out what kind of Christian marriage it is. Maybe it's not a Christian marriage, but it's a religious marriage. Maybe it's not even a Christian marriage. Just that we went to church doesn't mean it's a Christian marriage. It's something that I've been thinking of these days, that people do go to church, and after going to church and they get married, they call it a Christian marriage. And that is one of the dangers the church is encountering in our days. You get people who are so sober, humble, and they just want to get married. After they get married, they are out and they are back to the world. And it is one of the things that we are suffering, and one of the things that the world is going through today, and which comes to the foundational problem. So I believe that one of the things that we can look at much is the traditional one. Even traditional marriages are having problems now. Traditional marriages are having problems now because some of the families do not have such rights that they have in the past, trying to talk to both parties before they allow them to get married. These days, people are living in different places and far from the family. And if they go into the family to get married, everything is in a hurry, so they don't get even proper guidance from the family before they marry, only to find out that when there are problems, and then the family will be running here and there to resolve the problem. So even traditionally, nobody can get married in the church without the blessing of the parent. That is the blessing of the family, and that
That's
comes
right.
from tradition. So if you go into even law, you are in court, or even if you are doing solemnization as a pastor, one of the things that you are requested to ask, that who gave this woman to this man to be married to, that brings tradition. That means that the church even does not take away tradition when it comes to marriage, meaning it is the right of the parent to release the woman to the man, so that the man can able to fully say that him and the wife are living to cleave together to become one family. So that side can be only resolved if the two people understand that the blessing of their parent is not just about gathering people, receiving drinks, and going into their home to live as couples. But one thing that they can do is that if they are introduced to both families have rights to able to in them, ask them some things, and guide them into the marriage that they are going to. And this is what traditional marriage used to be, but these days we don't have parents that have opportunity to talk to their children or guide their young ones that are entering into relationship. They have big shoes, they have big cars, they have the PhDs, they are the influentials in the community, and so they allow these things to swallow their parents. And so the people in the family do not have that much strength to talk to them. The only thing that they are excited is things that are coming, is the clothes that are coming, and then out that men so tired in the community, in the extent that when somebody is getting married, they don't have that strength anymore to talk. All they look at is the drinks. All they look like is the number of gather at the ceremony. We must take note of this. Marriage begins from the family. It does not begin from the altar. And that is why we, even as pastors, when we want to do solemnization, what we ask is that who gave this woman to be married to this man? And if there is nobody in the auditorium or in the mix of the people to stand in to answer that question, reason of question to the marriage. And that is why we need to ask today marriage that do the people who get married have the opportunity to be well guided or groomed by the families, because when you marry, you are married from a family. And that is why there is one thing they say, these are your in-laws. They didn't say outlaws. They are in-laws. They are not outlaws. And the most important thing that comes there is that you come to a place to understand that why they say in-laws is that a part of the marriage in a certain way, but where the influence comes in is when you know your boundaries, they know your boundaries, because sometimes people marry, they don't know all these things. I'm telling you the truth. They don't know all these things. It's just about the excitement, getting engaged and coming to the church, and they are out. And then the next thing is when there are problems, they don't know how to bring families in, how to bring the church in, and it become a chaos. I will conclude by saying one thing. We marry a couple, and within four months, was almost 12 years ago, within 4 months, the marriage was already on us. They have a problem. They don't know how to bring the family in and bring the church in. And the areas that they're supposed to bring the church in, they went to invite the family. And what happened is that the guy's family also came in and said, okay, if your family is saying this, this is what we are saying. And I'm telling you today, that marriage, the family, they dissolve it.
Wow. Lady Henrietta, God
so,
bless you so much.
God bless you. God bless you all.
God bless you so much for joining us. Lady Henrietta is a Prophet Christopher's wife. She's a first lady of your church. God bless you so much. And she's also a nurse by profession. I said one day we have to talk about all these diseases so that we'll have you all to explain. We'll get you to explain all these things in marriage and all that. So God bless you so much for joining us.
Amen. Amen.
All right. So basically, we're just talking about the dangers of spousal equality rights, and we just ironing right now. We're talking about the foundation. The foundation comes in because if I'm raised differently and my husband is raised differently, traditionally everything is different. So what I know, my husband might not know. Maybe in my family, the men are always in charge, or maybe in my family, the women are always in charge. And so growing up as a child, that's all you see. And now when you come into marriage, you should be able to draw the line and know that I'm not in competition with my spouse about who should do this and who should do that. It's my right, it's my right. But we are all sharing the role. You know, your strength. When you know I'm not good with finance, okay? I can handle finance, but I'm not too good with finance. So when it comes to finance, I just allow my husband to take charge, you know. And then there are certain things I'm good at, he's not good at. So when it comes to marriage, you have to look at it. So you can be a man, but maybe you're not good with money. So the fact that your wife is handling money does not make you less of a man. You know, does not mean that, oh, she's trying to take over the finances. I'm the man, I'm supposed to be doing this. And she's the woman, she's supposed to sit back and watch me, you know, take charge over the finance. But it is meant to kind of build all of you together, that you work on your strength and you work on your weaknesses to become better. Pastor Reverend Mousy was saying about foundation, and then he spoke about the fact that there is no need to rush in marriage. There is no there's nothing like competition. Whoever marries first gets the best marriage. It's nothing like that. It's like when you come first, your marriage definitely is going to be the best. But there are some who don't marry early, and yet they enjoy their marriages. So what are the things that you want to share with us when it comes to spousal equality rights?
Oh, thank you so much, Lady Candice, for this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here today. Really, really happy that I was able to make it today.
And I'm glad you made it.
God bless you all so much. We thank God so much for this opportunity once again. There's one thing that I want to draw, I would like to say, based on experience and from what I heard man of God preach one time. I think we went for a service and he was saying, with this youth that is coming, or with this new generation, if you ask him, oh, why do you want to marry this man? They will say, oh, because I love him so much. I love him so much. I don't know what to do. And he said, you don't marry based on love. Although love is the main factor, but how does marriage work? And he referred us to the Bible and said, can two be together unless they agree? Can two be together unless they agree? So there should be that kind of agreement. Even Bible says two can only be together when there is agreement. And how does agreement come in? Agreement can work when both of you, as you said, will be able to come to a compromise, come to understanding that, hey, I'm coming from this background, I'm coming from this background, but we want to follow the lead of the Lord. We want to follow, what this one can do best, what that one can do best, and come to a solid agreement. It might not be exactly what the other party wants or what this party wants, but if you look at it, it brings unity, it brings progress, it brings productivity. Because if you have to lean in another person's strength, while you have to embrace the other person's weakness, and that is where the agreements come in. But if it's going to be, oh, I love him, I love her, she loves me, but we can't agree, then love will not have any room in any marriage. Love will not, no matter how much you love somebody, if there's no agreement, there is nothing like marriage that can work. There is nothing like marriage that can work. And that is why most people are breaking up easily, divorcing easily, because, oh, I'm this, he's that, he's not willing to do this. Sometimes very trivial things
it's
that
true.
you listen to people, very, very trivial things that they base on to divorce, they base on to break relationships. And you're thinking, could they not have been agreed? But this is the situation where Bible is giving us a solution that can two work together unless they agree. So this one I just bring it to the table. Can two work together unless they agree? The man that you have met, the woman that you have met that you want to marry, can it work? It can only work if you agree. It can only work. Love can be present, but if there's no agreement, love will not have any foundation to stand on. So can two work together unless they agree?
Wow.
Amen.
Wow, that is so powerful. I mean, based on what you are saying, it's the same thing Reverend Mousy was talking about,
Okay.
last week, and even before you came on, he was talking about the same thing. It's agreement, So if you are going to marry, last week we were talking about it. We said, if you are going to marry somebody and the person has not agreed to marry you, don't even go into it.
No.
Don't even go into it. And we even said last week that he was saying that there are some marriages that came together as a result of a child or as a result of pregnancy. So because of the pregnancy, they came together. But is there an agreement? Have you agreed that, okay, because you are pregnant, I've agreed I want to stay with you for the rest of our lives, whatever. But people enter into marriage, but lack of agreement. So what you're saying is very important. Reverend Mousy, is there anything you want to add up to it? Because I know last week we were laying emphasis on it. talking about. So it's a sign that we are really on track. We are sharing something that is very, very important. Reverend Mousy.
Yeah. What the name again? The name again, please.
Uh,
The name again.
Henrietta.
Henrietta.
Yeah.
Henrietta.
Oh, so Henrietta, your points are so powerful and it's so
That's
simple.
okay.
But as we were saying last week, some of this topic does not need a deeper lessons before we get to resolve some things at home. But we need the basics of the beginning of the marriage so that we can able to bring some solution and some lights into challenges that we are facing these days in the homes. And what you say is what I said last week that if two people meet each other and they really want to get married, the first thing is, are they marriageable age or are they full of age? Both families are going to allow these two to get married because they know they are full of age and both parties believe that. And so they are able to build a family because I said this. The two must come to a point saying they are full of age and they are ready to start a family because marriage is about starting a family. It's not a fanfare. It is not about excursion. It is not about vacations. So it is about starting a family. Do they have do they have that understanding? Do they have that picture? So the important thing that is here is that if the two has come to a point, they know that they are full of age, in terms mentally, psychologically, financially, socially. They know all these areas that they are ready to face the world and they are ready to start a family. Then it means that they can now enter into marriage. And that is what the Bible says. If two can work together, unless they agree, they can only agree that I'm mature because marriage is not for boys and it's not for girls, it's for people who have come of age. And so I agree with you on that point that it is a simple message. If somebody is listening, it's just simple. If the person that you are struggling to marry or you have married and you are having problems, if the person from the beginning was not in the same position or the same level in the way of how you think, how you were perceiving the marriage that you want to get into, then it means that there's not going to be happiness. Always is going to refer to the beginning. You know, I was not ready. You know, you try to tell me everything will go well when we marry, but it's not the same. So I believe that the two have to agree from the beginning that we are mature people, we can start a family, and we can handle our problems.
Wow. That is so true. Marriage is not for boys and girls, it's for matured people. So we got to understand ourselves. You have to ask yourself, am I ready? And I think one of the reasons why we have all this equality rights is lack of maturity. When you have somebody that they feel that, okay, I'm of age, so I'm ready to settle down, that is not the reason. You have to be ready mentally, emotionally. Are you ready to accommodate another person in your space? And I think this is one of the major things we forget, that when I get married, somebody is coming into my space. And now I will need a lot of patience to accommodate that person. That my ways are not going to be my ways no more. I have to be bent. I have to be bendable. I'm going to be bending. I'm going to be compromising. There are some certain times I have to close my eyes and let go. And the way I do my things, I have to change. Because when we got married, I'm a very, kind of straightforward person. Like Fincham, put this one there. Why is this one here? Let's clean. Let's do this and all that. And then my husband is an easygoing person. He doesn't mind if something is there. He doesn't care. He can eat from, like, as I'm cooking, his son is in the pot. He wants to eat. Sit down. He won't sit down. He wants to stand and eat. That is him. So it's like in the beginning, it was a whole lot of like, I want my way. He wants his way and all that. And for a second, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I mean, to the extent that sometimes I can see the house is not in order and I can still close my eyes and walk away. It is hard. it's hard to it is hard to look at it and just ignore it and walk away. But
Mm.
we have to come to a point where we have to bend. This is my way, but now it cannot be that normal. Now it's a lot of accommodation. It's a lot of tolerance, it is a lot of patience. So even if I used to be the self-centered and a quiet person, I cannot be quiet no more because I'm accommodating somebody. So there has to be communication, there has to be changes. And I think that is the reason why we have the equality rights in marriage, because we are used to doing certain things. So when somebody comes into our space, we feel that I still have to be in charge. I still have to be in charge. So, Reverend Mousy, and I want us to lay emphasis on something that is very important. There's something that I've noticed when it comes to marriage. Something that I've noticed about this spousal equality rights, because sometimes a spouse will feel that I am in charge, I am supposed to do this. Does it have to be like that? Because I think that if the two of you are together, and as you are saying, two cannot work together unless they be agreed, as we are all discussing. So if we say that we have agreed to get married and we say we are one flesh, the Bible says, and two shall become one. Is it really, really necessary to have a war about it? I'm the one, and like I'm supposed to be doing this, and why are you doing it? I'm the one, so why are you doing it? This is my role, this is my role. Do you think it's important, or do you think that both spouses can come together and define their strength and their weaknesses and let each other be, so that there can be unity and peace at home? Lady Harriet, I want to start with you first.
Mm. Yeah, it all comes back to what we were saying before, that as it's been mentioned, that marriage is not for boys, neither is it for girls. Marriage is for mature people who are mentally they are ready, physically they are ready to enter into marriage. And when Bible say that man love your wife and woman submit to your wife, when it comes to those kind of challenging situations where you have a woman that is naturally very domineering, you can have some women that they have lived alone in their life for such a long time. Everything is organized, everything is and there are some men that have lived, especially in this Western world, there are men that have lived on their own for a long time. They can cook, they can clean the, and then you have a woman that is really on the extreme side. They, even when they enter into a room that is dark, they know that, oh, my pen is here, my my this is here, everything is in order. So if you bring a man or a woman into that space and there's suddenly chaos, oh, that can bring a lot of fire in the marriage in the beginning. It takes time for one to start gradually coming to understanding that this is what it is. Let's maybe strike. Can you help me up to this point? Can I help you up to this point? Because otherwise, if you are very fussy and I like this that way, you will mentally and physically become exhausted. Because when you see this one here, you want to go and pick it. When you pick it and do it after some time, you'll probably be annoyed and it will spill out, arguments, fights. The other one is not getting he's not getting it at all, because they've lived their life with, no, I get there, I throw this here, I throw that here, I throw that here. And that has always been, a lot for most men and women in marriage. But, oh, hang on a minute. Where we're living, or in this place that we're living, some people have been privileged to have a lot of maids in their houses. Like if they grew up back home, they've had maids doing everything for them. And they're not used to being responsible for, keeping things. I'm just citing an example on one area, which is where it can lead to all these kind of things. But one needs to say, oh, hang on a minute, I'm not good at this. But looking at my wife or looking at my husband, I don't want to get them so exhausted on, why do I want to keep doing something that makes the other unhappy? That is where, our we have to be self-conscious and be thinking of the other side and not be too selfish, because sometimes selfishness can make you just ignore the other party or put them through challenge that you're not even aware that you're making them experience it and say, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not good at this, but I will make an effort. You know, sometimes just making an effort makes the other person, oh, at least he's not good, but he's trying.
He's trying.
You know, he's trying. And that really kind of will help the other person say, oh, at least my wife is not good at this, so my husband is not good at this. So but I can see that they are making little progress. They are really trying here and there to make it work. And if we are able to be very considerate and not selfish and think about the other party, you know, and we take our place like, oh, if I really love my husband or love my wife, why do I want to continue do things that she doesn't like? Let me change and make some room to help her or make an effort to do the little things. You start with little things that you can do, and gradually we can get there and make things work. Yeah.
Wow, that's so profound. Reverend Mousy.
Yes, it's very profound, as you say. You are just confirming that with what Lady Herita was just saying. It just goes to those who are already married and who are already in the marriage. But let me just go for those who are starting, because once you share, you see that it's all for those who are already in the marriage to find themselves of the balance of accepting the strength and the weaknesses of each other in order to build a unique home. Because a unique home comes when we are able to have a balance. Balance is to learn to accept the strength and the weakness of each other, and we are able to build a unique home. Now, when it comes to what you asked, that after the two have come together and they know that they are mature enough to start a family, and they have agreed on whatever that they find themselves in a secret place before they come out. The important thing here goes to the same thing we say. Because you know, when people find themselves in love, they define their own love. Only to just come families or come to church or get to elders or get to counselors and to understand that some of the things they define as love is not love.
It's not.
Because when it comes to love, it is what builds the marriage. And so maybe love is not love. And then what they think they are going to use to build their marriage is not actually what is going to make the marriage last. Is or rather going to crash the marriage from the on. And that is why marriage is not built on feelings, it's principles. Marriage is not built on feelings, it's built on principles. It is an environment with its own laws. And so you have to able to learn the laws and able to run with the laws. I like what Paul said to Timothy in the book of Timothy. He says that you must run lawfully. You must take this course and run it lawfully. So when it comes to marriage, after they know that they are mature enough to start a family, they need a manual of the marriage. They have to know that this marriage we are starting, we are defining it in this way. And so each and every step, they know that this is what they need to do. Imagine a couple want to behave like a storage lab. You know, you are not able to build a dilute love or filial love together. You want to jump into a storage lab. You want to behave like you have been together for 25 years. Even those who are live for 25 years are divorcing. So you treat your spouse with a storage. You need to come to a place of understanding that when it comes to your marriage, you are not anywhere yet. You think that you can just push your wife like the way your father that is married for 30 years or 40 years is doing. You are joking. You will break your home. You're joking. So many of these couples today, they just want a microwave mentality for marriage. They want a quick fix. They want something that will be just making so much on fire. You know, I was saying something and we're laughing with my wife that people look for the pleasure. You know, the pleasure, we're going to have time, we're going to travel here, we're going to go for holidays. And those are the cherry on the cake. The main cake that is here is that what type of marriage am I getting into? One, what type of love are we starting? This is where counseling comes. Maybe you are going to a pito. You just don't feel this woman because of it she looks. But in the next 2 years, 3 years, she changed. And then you don't have that kind of love for the person anymore. So this is why we need to come to the place even to define what actually love is, because we have different kind of love. So you have to come to the place of maturing from epitomial love, coming to dilute, coming to filial love, and getting to the place where you are able to build together as a brotherly and sisterly love, and you get to a place where you say, you know what, we know each other now. And that comes a long way. But then you find out that if you ask them, oh no, I love him, in which way? But if you can look from a distance, you can see this is a epitomial love. This is a love. Just, you know, I am just excited because this woman is an educated person. She got influence. She got money. She's coming from a very respected home. So I'm married to because of that. What about all these things are gone? So the most important thing I would say is that going back to the basics. I'm loving the basics today and loving it in every single moment that I have with other people, because if people miss the basics, it doesn't matter what you share with them, they will still struggle in their relationship. And that is why if a couple is married for years, you can't do your love by looking at where you started from. Even when there are problems and challenges, you reflect on how you started, and then you are able to overcome whatever you are battling with. That is why I want to just conclude with that point. You know, when it comes to sorry, it just skipped me. When it comes to the book of Revelation, when John had the encounter with Christ, Christ was talking to him about the different kind of churches. You know, there's a particular church that God wanted to bring revival to the church, but look at how God put it. He said, tell them to go back to their first love, the basics. The first love is the basics. And so if any couple is battling with equality, you have to define. You know, I have a couple who were married for 4 years, but unfortunately, they never had a proper counseling. And I said to them, I'm not going to say you are right, you are wrong, but if you give me a chance, I can give you my counsel form. I'm going to take you to 3 months. If 3 months is not enough for you, you book again for another 3 months. And I'm telling you today, a marriage that they already have papers in the court to divorce, I'm so glad that I have made an impact in that life. Though they may not, they are not even in my church, but they come to church and say, that 6 months came, every topic we treated and every process you took us through, it was difficult. We were not understanding, but after a time we reflected on it and it started helping us. So I think that LP, Candy, it's very important that our generation will just learn this, that if they get it wrong, they will get it wrong in the marriage. From the onset, if the right foundation is not laid, then there's going to be chaos. If the right foundation is not laid, it's a waste of time. I've seen people, you waste time for almost 6 months, you waste time even for a year trying to help them in your marriage. Their marriage issues, you don't talk about it just for a day. You sit there until you don't have anything to say but to pray and go and come the next day. But the point that is here is that we have this generation that they just want microwave mentality. That is a quick fix. They just walk in and say, do B, do C. If you don't have the basic, then I'm sorry, we can't start even talking about the meat and the bones level. We must go to the meat level.
Yeah.
I think it's like Lala Sumila. You are doing Lala Sumila. Lala Sumila. Is it this one or this one or this one or this one? When we're going, we
Yes,
say Lala Sumila. It
I
means that
like what
you
you
just
say.
close your eyes, you just do
I
this
like what
one. This one or this one. Which one do I choose? Kweku or Kwame? Kweku or Kwame? Kweku or Kwame? Kweku or Kwame? Where he
true,
ends and the oh Kweku, you know.
true.
and I think that
Because if we come to
refined
point,
name the refined name for the Lala Sumila is now that you are saying the microwave mentality marriage.
Mhm.
Like the microwave. Let me just quick, I mean, as I'm entering into the marriage, everything should be fine. It's
Mm.
like you take something, you put in the popcorn, you put popcorn in the microwave within 3 minutes, pop, the popcorn is ready. Unlike first you put the grease in the on fire, you have to wait, it's hot, you put the popcorn. By the time you finish popping, it's like almost 10 minutes.
great.
Pop, one pops up. Now you can just put the popcorn in the microwave 3 minutes and it's ready. And I think because of the kind of lifestyle that we have, sometimes we think that is how marriage is supposed to be. And I think
Yes,
I'll agree with both of you that I think we should lay more emphasis on the foundation. And that these are some of the things that my husband, we've said it over and over and over and over and over and over. But it will surprise you that all the time is the same problem. I mean, we've talked about this foundation in most of our videos for the past 3 years. That sometimes he said, let's talk about foundation. I just get tired. I said, listen, we've talked about this. And he said, you'll be surprised that there are
Mhm.
people who come on the live show and hear about this, about the foundation, and it'll be the same people who will bundle themselves and go into the wrong relationship after hearing everything about the importance of foundation, the importance of investigation, the importance of sitting down and asking yourself that, am I ready? Am I ready? So I think that if we want to talk about the foundation, there is something that we want to talk about our backgrounds, where we are coming from, because that also plays a major role in our marriage, especially when we grow up, and then that is
true.
what we saw our parents do. When I grew up, I saw my father a certain way, and I saw my mom a certain way. So I already have a blueprint. I've already seen a blueprint about marriage. So I can also go into marriage with the same kind of mentality, with the same kind of attitude, because I mean, that is all I saw. So if I don't unlearn what I know to relearn something that is better, and then you find that I'll enter into the marriage and the same thing, I'm repeating the same cycle. Why? Because of my background, because of where I'm coming from. So I believe that if we can work on our background and say that this is what I saw my parents do, I want to do something different. But my problem is that why is it that this generation, like this youth of today, if you tell them, hey, work on your background, they say, work on your foundation. Oh, want all this foundation. I've seen the person. I'm ready to settle. No, it is not about settle down. You have to take your time, investigate into the family. How is the family like? What are the sicknesses in the family? How does the men behave in the family? How does the women behave in the family? Is there even marriage in that family? I was discussing with my husband. I think this week we were talking about the children, how fast they are growing and all that. And I was telling my husband, I said, media, if my kids are going to get married, it's going to be a tussle, because hey, I'm going to zoom into backgrounds. If I see something that is going to be a battle, I'll tell my son, Charlie, this one day you can't go there. It doesn't matter the money they have. It doesn't matter what they have. If there's a particular something in the background, like maybe the person is a fetish priest. Hey, why do you want to push your why do you want to push your child into a background where they have fetish priest, and you know it's in the bloodline? And at the end of the day, it's going to be higher, 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 fire. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. So instead of enjoying the marriage, it's going to be fire for fire every day. It's like you have become a warfare person. So it's very important that we have to look at the backgrounds. Lady Herita, what do you think? Because I think our backgrounds also plays a major role when it comes to equality, right? Because if my background is a certain way, when I enter into marriage, it's going to be the same thing. But if I'm able to unlearn what I know about my background and relearn something new, and then when I go into the marriage, and then I know I can have a good marriage, not just like a microwave marriage, and then enter into the marriage and I think, snap, my husband should love me, my husband should do all things for me. What do you think, Lady Herita?
Yeah, so as you said, with this new generation that, they want microwave everything. We don't want to work at things. We just want to, order it like take away. I want this, let it happen. I want to see you the way when we were cutting, I want to see this. I want it to, that's how I want it to happen. So it's a generation that are not willing to work at things to achieve. We want an already made marriage, but I don't think God gave anybody an already made marriage. It's something that it's a journey that you have to work through it to get to a destination, and at the same time enjoy it while you're going. You have your challenges, but to be able to enjoy it as well. And the other thing that people are also refusing is that they are just marrying by sight. They are not marrying by purpose. A lot of people are marrying by sight. Oh, I can see, and they don't want to look at everything else. So, you have a generation full of people that want to, like most women, they want to pump the breast, they want to pump bomb, they want to do a lot of things physically to look attractive for the man. And men are going in and thinking, can this woman help me? Can this woman be a help meet for me? These are all the basics that we're talking about here. And they can see clearly through the woman, but they're not willing to ask questions about themselves like, hey, so this woman that I really want, everything is it's all the hourglass figure that I want, and that is all that I'm looking at. And people, even God or the Holy Spirit, may be giving you signs that this might not be good for your future. This might not be what you need. It's just like Samson and Delilah. He was, his parents are like, you have a calling. God have put something great into you and all that. I said, no, I can't see any woman in this land. What I have seen with my eyes, that is all. No matter what, I will, but it could be like a trap, or it's a doom or satanic plan to completely destroy you. Because for most people, how your life will be as a married person, sometimes 90% depends on your marriage. If you go into a wrong marriage, it can mess you up for life. It can completely mess you up. And we have a lot of women, a young man, oh, I want that man. They've seen that, hey, they're going to counsel the man is saying, are you sure? Maybe the man of God or everything have insight and knowing that I'm looking at this man, oh, he's got all the features that you say you want. These days we want to, what the eye sees, what we want, but we're not willing to look beyond the physical appearance. This person know that this man, he's not the one that I want to, but the care, the attention. Oh, even if I'm doing something for my future, they want to help me. They want to help me. Somebody that you can see, this man is the fingerprint of God in my life to lead me. They say, nah, that one that I have seen that, is looking like this. And so people want to work in their physical appearance, which is very good to always look. God even expects us to look our best, but we need to the basics. Why are you marrying the person? Because of a big bust, big bum, big, why that? Is it because, the family is so rich, and we've watched it in a lot of these movies that I have to marry that girl, she's coming from a real rich family, and then enter the marriage and the woman's father or her boy's father sees all the money and they say, start on your own now. and then everything, all the love finally disappears.
It's
And then
true.
here comes more cheating, because the agenda was not really for the lad. The agenda was not for the man or the woman. The agenda was for the material things or the physical things that they see. So if whoever is listening to us today, maybe there's somebody out there, they are planning on getting married. Why are you marrying that person? Do you see that person into your future to be a helpmate? Do
That's
you
right.
see that person into your future to be somebody that will be able to go the whole 9 years with you? Do you see that person that, regardless of everything else, would they be able to go there? What if the physical things that I'm looking at, they will change?
That's
As time
right.
goes on, as age goes on, they will change. Am
The,
I
the, the, the
able?
body changes. The
The
body will
body
just
changes. Am I able and capable? like like Prophet to say, I'm managing this, or I'm just managing it, because everything what I saw is not, what I'm looking at now. So are you able to say that, regardless of the changes that come, I'm still willing and able to love you beyond the
my
physical
goodness.
appearance? Am I able to? So for all the young people, all the new people that are out there that are listening to us today, why are you marrying the person? Are they good for your future? Are they going to be a significant? Are they going to make any impact? And are you going to be able to make an impact? Are you keen into their interests, things that they are doing, to be able to support them? These are the basics that we're talking about. If you can do all those things, then it doesn't matter the storms that come, because you love the person beyond
Yeah.
physical appearance. You love the person. There is a meeting. You have something that really draws you beyond just just that, beyond just that. So that is
Wow.
something that we need to look into.
Wow. Wow. That is so powerful. There are certain
Mm.
things that you said I'll just drive on, but I want Reverend Mousy. Reverend Mousy. Reverend Mousy, please go ahead.
Mhm.
Thank you, LP. What Lady Henrietta shared was so enlightening, and I believe our listeners or our viewers will be blessed to take some notes from there and listen to the broadcast later. We'll make some notes from there, because that is important. Because when it comes to you ask a question of the background,
Yes.
and Lady Henrietta dive into that, talking about how people perceive each other before they get married, in terms of looking at the outward, especially if the people from the family that is getting married to, they are rich, they are learned, they got this, they got that, and some of the things the person never asked question of, and then later find out that he's in a wrong house. The house he's looking for is not actually that house.
Mm.
And then you
I'm
find out,
telling you, he's in the wrong house.
and then you find out that so you find out that you started to uh,
Mm.
think that, no, the lady that is at work, the secretary, is better than the woman at home, because
Mm.
you find a home, because you are married
Mm.
to find a home with someone.
Mhm.
You turn a house into a
Mhm.
home, but you
Yeah.
see, you that you find a home at the office. You leave the house, but you find a home with your former schoolmate, former who used to buy you lunch, who have every day, and never had all these things from the home.
Mhm.
Uh, I will share one ladies. There was one CEO of a big company in South Africa, and I happened to stay in his house. And the house that she was staying, she got zoo in the house. She got two kitchen big kitchen in her house, and she got a tennis court in the same house with a zoo, the same house with a tennis court. Somewhere in South Africa, they say something. And it's my first time having such. And the lady already, she divorced. And then she shared her bitter story with me, and she said, you know, I was never had the opportunity to hear much about marriage when I was in church. All I hear is to speak in tongues, is to pray, is to trust God, is to give. We are not against that. I'm not against that. We do preach on that. But the point that is here is that she never learned that when she comes from home, she have to take time and know the well-being of his family. That was one thing that the husband raised when they were getting divorced. The other thing was never had time to cook or even prepare a meal from the family. She always look at the maid, and which the husband raised. There was nothing that bonds them in the house. They were living like roommates. Even the washing in the home is done by the nanny. Whatever happens in that house, from the morning to the evening, she got nothing to do with it. And then when it comes also into the room, she always tired and have a lot of excuses. So she said one thing, answered to some of the things we are just raising, that even though we had some privileges as we were growing in our homes, then our parents, the church is supposed to play a role. We have people who can play that role by helping us to able to overcome that orientations that we had when we're growing, so that when we get into marriage, we are able to live to, let me use the word, live to expectation, to whom much is required. So that is something that is important for every couple to know, that there is something required of you the same as your partner. And of you, you must meet that expectation. As a man, you must meet that expectation that is required of you as the head of the home. As a woman of the home, you have to meet that expectation that is required of you. And now, when the two of you learn to meet that expectation, then you are to bring that equality. That is why you see, last week we defined to say equality in a relationship means that each person's interest and desire are respected and are met in a reasonable degree. So we have to meet each other. That is why we say the role of the man and the responsibility of the man is not the same as the woman. So we have to always have that mindset that we have to meet each other halfway. If we have the mentality of meeting each other halfway, we will not have Holyfield and Mike Tyson in the home. We will not see ourselves having all kind of teenage brats. We will not have teenage brats in the home. Brat and behave like we are still in school. We are still finding ourselves. We are still knowing each other. Sometimes you find out that grown-up couple will be behaving funny. You don't understand that. You know, it's still in them. They have not matured from 20 years ago when they were in university, when they still like brats. So most important thing that is required here is that if everyone will understand that for equality to be in the home, it simply means your interest, your desire, we are able to marry it together. In which way? We meet each other halfway. What a woman can do, a man cannot do. I must accept that. You know what? When my wife is not at home, there are certain things that are not important. I see the things come right. I will try my best. I must know that. I'm key to know that. And that is, there's nothing like I can do it as a man. I would never say I'm a best cook. My wife is the best cook. I would never praise my cook. I praise my wife cook because that is the environment she is. It's wrong for me to say, I cook better than my wife. It's very wrong even to say in the public. It's a disgrace. It is not honoring a woman. That is the field of a woman. Even if I can cook, my wife cook better, even if the salt is more in it. So the most important thing that is here is that because when you look at the role of a woman in the home, you see that these are the things required of the woman so that he can build his family. And the man also comes in as a priest. The man comes in as a leader. He sets example. You are not there to shout, and the Zulu people will say, yeah, like I'm in control, like what you are saying, I'm the one to say, it is not about the loud voice that makes you a man in a home. It is not also about the six-pack that makes you a man. It is not also because you have good education that makes you a man. What makes you a man is understanding your role, your responsibility, expectation. Because once you are able to meet your expectation, you don't need anybody to call you a man. They see a man there. The community see a man there. That is why the community that can come close to and say, you have really stood our, because your lifestyle and how you live points to this young man how to treat women. And so the point that is here is that we need this in the days we are living. We are living in, because when to we don't understand where is different. And that is why there's one scripture I want to conclude there. In 2 Corinthians 16, verse 14, it says, be ye equally yoked together with unbelievers. That goes to the believer. I'm just using that scripture to just balance things with the person I got married to, but our belief system is not the same. Our faith is not the same. It's going to be a chaos. It's going to be a chaos. That's why, as long as we don't have the foundations it's going to mess the home. That's why I even informed them. This was a do not be unequally yoked an unbeliever. It's said that you are going to ensure if the man or the woman that is coming into your home or getting married to your children, if that man is that doesn't care the money, doesn't care the car, you're going to tell your child it's wrong from there. We are not even going to pray. We are not going to look for a prophet to tell us of the future. No. And equally, somebody who doesn't have the same foundation like you're going to have hell in your life. You're going to have hell because once the person you are getting in contact with is already, I like one woman that I met years ago, and she said, we in a clubhouse, now I'm born again, my husband is still again, and whenever he has a problem, he wants us to pray over. I said, you know what? It is an equal yoke. Because why? You didn't meet in church. You met in that place. You have to, the way grace find you, you have to be patient for grace to find this also.
It's true.
There's nothing you can do because the person's mindset and where he stands is totally different from you. And that is what the Bible is saying. So if somebody is listening, you have a problem going on for years. The man wanted to marry you, so he left his friends, and then he stopped behaving certain ways. He stopped going to some places that is wrong for a married man, just to please you, not to marry you, just to please you, and able to stay with you for a while. He just wants you for a season. And now, while the season is over, he starts showing his colors again. He's going back to those friends. He's going back to those places. He starts showing the same character that you saw that it was not good. And every divorced people or divorced couple can reflect on this that we are talking of. They will tell you, we saw this when we want to marry. I thought he changed. I thought he has given up. But the same lifestyle that this man started with is the same lifestyle is continuing until we broke up. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow. That was so powerful. That was so powerful. Yes, that was so powerful. So there are certain things that both of you said that I have them written down, and I believe that it will take time to talk about it. You know, it will take real time to talk about it, talking about not being equally yoked and all that. Because I know a pastor who is hanging around with a Muslim, a pastor who is getting married to a Muslim, and they feel that it's okay.
Yeah.
And then you ask you they feel that it's okay, but now you don't see anything. As time goes on, everything will begin to unfold, and then the man will realize that, oh, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
I went for this I have to bite it myself. So sometimes we take so many things for granted because all these things are the foundation, and all those things are background. If you don't put all these things into consideration, and then we just go ahead and marry, at the end of the day we'll be gnashing our teeth, and then it's always God. It has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with it. And most of the times when people are making that kind of foolish choices, the Holy Spirit will give them promptings, especially when they are children of God. It's like you have a discomfort in your spirit, you have a hustle in your spirit, you are not at peace with it. But and yet, as we are saying, it's because of something that you have seen. This person has money, this person has this one. If I marry this person, it will be better for me. If I marry this person, that's what we are looking at, forgetting that one day something can happen. They might lose everything they have. And if they lose everything they have, will you be able to stay? Or are you going to say that because it's no more there, I'm checking out? There is nothing like that. When you are in for life. And then when you also said that we have to understand that when it comes to equality rights in marriage, is each other's interest. I like it so much. It's each other's interest. It is not about a hustle. It is your interest. It is my interest. What you are good at, I will allow you to do it. What I am good at, allow me to do it. Allow me. So if you are married and you are watching us, or you are single and you are watching us, you have to open your eyes. Open your eyes and look at so many things and take so many things into consideration. Don't feel like your body is itching you. I'm ready. I want to marry. 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 And then when you get married, then you realize that, oh, I did say now grow. This thing marriage they are talking about, I didn't know it was that tough. So there's nothing like rushing. Take your time, because you don't want to make some costly mistakes, because there are some mistakes that when you make in marriage, you can't rewrite your story. No, it is not like a pencil and eraser. When you write something, you get the eraser and you erase it. No, when you write it, you've written it down. There's nothing like going back. You are in for life. So we have to understand that equality rights in marriage is about each other's interest. What is my wife's strength? Allow her to do it. There are certain things that if you pull my husband back and down and you shake him, he can do it. My husband is not good at technology. He's not good at so many things. Like if you tell him to do, you're just wasting your time. It's not going to work. He himself, he knows that he won't do it. So when you tell him, can you do this? He will tell you, you know that me, I can do it. You know that me, I don't know how to do it. So, and there are certain things that it's not my strength. So I have to give him the space, even though I might not like it. I have to allow him, to take charge. So if husbands and wife can understand this, and single people can also understand that, let me take my time. I don't have to rush. It is not about rushing. It is not about the beauty. All this breast, one day it will sag. Hey, you put on push-up bra, it won't push. You put the push-up bra to push it up, it will not push it up. What it has become is what it has become. Yeah, you're behind. You want to put some foam there. You put the foam there. You're going to sleep. You remove the foam. You don't put the foam there to go and sleep. You remove the foam. So eventually everything is going to sag. So it is not about looking at, hey, this one has round booty, the breast, the face. Oh, you see all those wrinkles. And when all those things start happening, will you be able to stay and look at your spouse's face and say, I still love you, I still care about you, I still want to live with you? So if it's about something else, you're going to get disappointed. You're going to get disappointed. Wow. So, Lady Henrietta, what are your last words to us? What will be your final words to the singles and to the married out there about it? I know that we've not finished with this one. I'm telling you, I have my points here. I've not even said it. I know we've not finished with this one because it's a very broad, topic that we have to take our time and eye on it. But it's time for us to go. So, what will be your last words that you want to give to us?
Thank you so much, Lady Candy. So, I just want to encourage whoever is out there, if you're already married and you are in your marriage and you're facing challenges, or you are a young person that is considering getting married and all that, I just want you to, ponder over these things that we have discussed. Let it be like a tool for you to, shuffle through things and say, am I making the right decision? Is this one good? And let the Holy Spirit, or let God lead you in whatever decision that you're making, because you can't be wrong if you allow the lead of the Holy Spirit for things that we're doing. And let's also think and consider that, are we, we are mentally ready and prepared for what we are going in. And let's learn to love more. Let's learn to forgive more. Let's learn to be accommodating, and that's for people who are already in a marriage. Learn to forgive more frequently, learn to be accommodating, be a helpful person, and allow the other person to be. Let them embrace their individuality. Let them
That's
embrace
right. I
who
like
they,
that.
support their strengths, support their weaknesses. Let's help each other, and we can't be divorcing for any and everything. Even as
I
they came
know.
to Jesus and said, should you divorce your wife when you do this? He said, no, a man shall leave his mother and father and be joined unto his wife to become one. Let that unity extend for people who are married. If there's a third party that is trying to split you with a lot of confusion, arguments, commotion, let's learn to, cut them out. Let's learn to embrace each other's weakness. If mistakes have happened, if things have happened, let's not base on that and just
It's true.
divorce, because God does not like divorce, and divorce is not good for children if there are children involved and all that. So if you are listening to us and you are considering that, oh, I want to divorce, I want to do this, reconsider the matter. Let's bring it to God, pray, and seek guidance from your leaders in your churches. Learn to forgive once again, as I said. And for the youth that are out there, go out there and look for your helpmates. Go out there and be wise in picking a woman, because Bible says whoever finds a wife finds a good thing. So you're not just going there looking for any woman, you're looking for a wife material. So
Not
for
a
the
knife.
people out there, not just any girl or anyone, you're looking for a wife material. So, be wise about it, and seek God's guidance, and based on some of the key skills and things that we have discussed here, and look for your wife, look for that life partner, and you will receive favor from God. God bless you all. Thank
Wow.
you.
Wow. Reverend Mousy, what will be your final words to us? God bless you, Lady Henrietta.
I must say that we are sharing with others, but the same time, our marriages have been spiced up, talk, and I'm glad that the two of you also share some things that touch me, and I know that something has been deposited definitely to my marital environment, and it will begin to grow tonight.
Amen.
One of the things I will say is that to those who are disappointed to say we have dated, To those who have been disappointed to say that they have dated, they have gone into relationship, it didn't work, you have to know the truth that majority of people who are married today went through the same process. But what helped them is this counseling or this type or this kind of messages that we are sharing that was able to help them to stand on their feet again and bounce back into the place of believing for again. So if you are to start again, this is the best preparation that you can use, or this is the best way to heal from the past so that you can step out and be that person you want to be in the future for the person that is also waiting for you. Two, I want to say that a wounded soldier cannot go to war. If you know you have been wounded, whether you are single or married, please make sure you are healed. Because the more you allow the wound to grow worse, the more bad you become as a person in your relationship. So get healed. Get over some things yourself. That is why last week he said, you don't wait to have the other person corrected. You must first ask yourself, what is wrong with me that I have to deal with, so that if the other person also, who I think have this and that in his life, is being also corrected, or also have also noticed his mistakes and correct them, we can be able to have a fresh start. So that is a few things that I want to share. I want to say this evening, and I want to say also that a big thank you to Lady Candy and Kamenu for the opportunity to speak to your viewers. And Lady Herita, it was nice meeting you. God bless you for the insight.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. God bless.
Wow. That was so powerful. God bless you so much. I honestly appreciate both of you. Reverend Mausi, God bless you so much. And tell your wife, I say thank you for releasing you. I know it's late in South Africa. Tell her I say thank you for releasing you. And I know it's also late in UK. Tell Prof I said I appreciate him for also releasing you. So tell your wife, and then tell your husband. I said they should settle you this evening. They should make sure that they settle you for me. They should settle you. All right. God bless you all so much.
God bless you.
I really, really appreciate you all. So I think we have to go
Okay,
to
thank you
break,
so
but
much.
I don't know your schedule, Lady Harriet. I don't know your schedule because I know you'll be working, but we'll be talking later on
Okay.
WhatsApp. Yeah, to see your schedule, and because we really have to finish this. There's so much to talk about and so much to share. All right. So I'll put you all backstage, and then we're going to end, and then I'll get back to you. All right, our wonderful viewers. God bless you so much for joining us. I believe that you've learned a lot, and I have learned so much. So even though you've not shared yet, go ahead and share. You can also copy the link and share on your WhatsApp. You can also copy the link and share on your timeline. You can also go ahead and text your friends to join us. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you so much. We'll see you again, same time next week. God bless you. Stay blessed. God bless you.